This episode of When the Left Eats Itself may be my favorite of all time. The Harry Potter franchise and its creator J.K. Rowling, noted leftist, are taking heat for the latest movie Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Grindelwald. So how is it possible for the C.S. Lewis of the left to be criticized? Well, the movie's not progressive enough. I'm Ben Davies. This is Pure Hollywood. JK thought she had it made. More money than a Middle Eastern sheik. More praise than a president. And millions of loyal fans. But what's more important than all those trivial things, JK Rowling wore her progressive badge proudly. Starting Twitter wars with Trump supporters. Slamming Brexit organizers as racist and bigots. Being an open LGBTAIQ activist. And generally just mocking Trump on the reg. I mean, what could go wrong? Well, when you legitimize the beliefs and values of the unappeasable, they come for you. Well, the newest movie in the series, The Crimes of Grindelwald, opened with the lowest opening in the history of the franchise. Many point to the critical complaints levied at the film as the problem. Not by conservative critics, but left-wing critics. So let's just go through a few, shall we? 1. Johnny Depp, the man who had already been eaten by the left, was cast as one of the leads, and the internet went wild. That a man who had sexual assault allegations from his estranged ex-wife that have not been substantiated was allowed to be on screen again. And let me emphasize, we still don't know what happened. But him being allowed on screen threatened the very safety of leftists. The Twitter world saying thanks to J.K. Rowling like, quote, "Remember that letter you wrote me when I was 15 explicitly saying that the Harry Potter world would always be a safe haven from abuse? Would always be there to protect and comfort me? Well, shove it, J.K." Another complaint that derailed this film was that the movie wasn't gay enough. J.K. Rowling talked openly about one of the main characters, Dumbledore, being gay. But since this children's movie only hinted at the fact that he was homosexual, Vanity Fair put it, quote, "The worst part is that this film tries to have its cake and eat it too. It throws a few bones alluding to Dumbledore and Grindelwald's relationship," unquote. Because, you know, kids don't want to see magic on screen. They want to see two dudes playing tongue twister. And then, you know, of course, to the left, supporting LGBTQ characters apparently means you must show them hooking up on screen or else you're faking it. Or my personal favorite, the diversity problem in the film. But not that this movie wasn't diverse, because it was, but rather because one of the main antagonist characters was Asian. And the character who turns out to be Voldemort's snake later in the series wasn't obviously seen as a hero. You know, a role that's super cool that every actor or actress would fight for was seen as perpetuating harmful stereotypes to the left. For example, quote, "It perpetuates an image of a woman of color being oppressed by a white man," unquote. Forget the fact that a great Korean actress like Claudia Kim gets to play this role. You know, a role I'm sure she was stoked about. Now she has to feel like she was perpetuating white dominance? Like, what are you talking about? J.K. Rowling should have known these leftist rules of diversity. Mainly that the only antagonist seen on screen must always be white. Obviously. Well, J.K. Rowling, you made this leftist bed, so now you can lay in it. And apparently the Crimes of Grindelwald only consist of attempting to appease the unappeasable, to reason with the unreasonable, and empower the ideas of victimhood and oppression. And let me just explain this for people who don't understand. This means that if your group is no longer a victim, you become the oppressor. This is why every leftist will always fight tooth and nail to still somehow be seen as the victim in your own little fantasy world like Harry Potter. Do you get how that works? Do you get how identity politics work? Which is why no matter how hard you try, J.K. Rowling, no matter how many people you empower, no matter how many cast members you cast in that group, no matter how much you push for equality, it will always come out to be a power game of the left somehow being oppressed and victimized. Because if not, they become the villains of their own fantasy story they created. That is how the left eats itself. I'm Ben Davies. This is Pure Hollywood. Did you enjoy that video? Of course you enjoyed that video. So now you need to become a premium member to the Rebel. That way you have first access to Pure Hollywood and the entire Rebel lineup.